Hey friends, and welcome back to another episode of Smoltzy and Friends. Have you ever wondered why certain thoughts just show up out of nowhere? You're driving to a business meeting, you're in the middle of a workout, you're sitting quietly, and suddenly, there it is, a thought. Not something you were thinking about, not something on your to-do list, just something that drops into your head. Or I like to say, into your heart. Where do those come from? And more importantly, what do you do with them? I've learned something about myself. If I don't capture it immediately, I'll tell myself, oh, I'll remember that. And almost every single time, I don't. It fades, it disappears. And later I'm sitting there thinking, what was that thing I was going to say? That was good. For me, I've built a habit. If I'm not driving, I write it down. If I'm driving safely, I hit my voice memo. I don't wait. I don't overthink. I just press record and let it flow. And what you're listening to right now, a lot of these episodes started exactly like that. There's no perfect script, no polished outline. Sometimes it's smooth. Sometimes it feels like a bunch of scattered thoughts trying to find each other. But it's real. It's authentic. It's from the heart. And I've made a promise to myself. Every time those thoughts show up, I'm going to show up. I think sometimes we dismiss those moments because they feel random. But what if they're not random at all? What if they're reminders? What if they're nudges? What if they're ideas that are trying to become something bigger? Maybe it's a business idea. Maybe it's a memory of someone you need to call. Maybe it's forgiveness you've been putting off. Maybe it's creativity knocking at the door. And we ignore it because we're busy, because it's inconvenient, because we think I'll deal with that later. But later doesn't always come. Have you ever had a thought come back weeks later and you think, oh, I had the same idea before? Almost like it's tapping you on the shoulder again, saying, hey, I'm still here. So what does that mean? Maybe it means it matters. I truly believe there's something powerful about honoring those moments. When a thought hits your heart, it's worth pausing for. Even if it's just 60 seconds. Even if it's pulling into a parking lot. Even if it's scribbling it on a napkin. Capture it. You'll be glad you did. Because here's what I've learned. Thoughts have a lifespan. If you don't give them space, they evaporate. And some of them are seeds. Seeds of conversations, seeds of healing, seeds of businesses, seeds of creativity, and seeds of impact. But seeds only grow when they're planted. And writing it down, recording it, that's planting it. I can't tell you how many times I've listened back to a voice memo and thought, wow, that became something, an episode, a conversation, a decision, a direction shift. And other times, it's messy, it's incomplete, it doesn't make sense. But I'd rather have those messy recordings than regret of losing it. Maybe you felt that too. That little internal spark, that whisper, that idea that feels bigger than the moment. And you ask yourself, what should I do with this? I say start small. Write it down. Record it. Sit with it. You don't have to act on every thought immediately, but don't ignore it either. There is something powerful about revisiting a captured thought when you're in a quieter space. Sometimes it expands. Sometimes it clarifies. Sometimes it connects dots you didn't even know were there. And here's the other part. When you build the habit of responding to those thoughts, you build trust with yourself. You start to believe when something meaningful comes to me, I'll honor it. And you know what? That's powerful because creativity, insight, and even purpose, they tend to show up in the in-between moments, not always at your desk, not always in a meeting, often in the car, in the shower, on a walk, during your workout, and in silence. So here's my encouragement to you. As long as you're not driving, write it down. If you're driving, pull over safely or use a voice memo. Let the moment continue. You'll be glad you did. Don't waste another thought that comes to your head or your heart. You'll never know what it's trying to say to you. You never know what it's uncovering. You never know who it might impact if you choose to act on it. And if this hit a nerve for you, if this reminded you of something, if someone came to mind while you were listening, would you consider sharing this episode with them? And if you're so inclined, would you hit that subscribe or follow button on whatever platform you're listening on right now? It helps this message reach more people who might need that reminder in the exact moment a thought shows up for them. Until next time, my friends, never waste a thought. Write it down. You'll be glad you did.